and he sees woman number 2 at the seminar. Now, apparently, she attended the seminar because she was a fan of Assange. I mean, what 20-something wouldn't be just an uber fan of Julian Assange? He's famous, he's rich, he's good-looking. Okay, he's famous, kinda. I mean, 1 out of 3 ain't bad. Actually, it's pretty terrible. But this is woman number 2. And here's where things get a little murky. There are conflicting sources here, but woman number 2 is allegedly hanging around after the speech by the stage trying to catch his eye. And they do. Well, unfortunately, they don't really talk, but these two start to talk. They start to chat, woman number 1 and then woman number 2. I mean, what are the odds? Woman number 1 introduces woman number 2 to Assange and says, hey, you really should meet her. Even though we just had sex, you should meet her. Well, they end up hanging out in a group setting. After some flirting, Assange and woman number 2 make a breakthrough, and they go to a movie together, leaving woman number 1 here. This guy's a player. He must be really good because, again, sparks fly. And Assange says, you are hot, you're great, we should continue this, but I've got to run over to woman number 1's house because she's throwing a party for me. Hosted by the woman he slept with the night before, woman number 1. So woman number 2 is left at the movie theater. And like any good dirtbag, he promises to contact woman number 2 real soon and heads off to the party, woman number 1's house. Remember, woman number 1 supposedly had been raped the night before, but here she is organizing a party in his honor. Now, who hasn't thrown a party for the guy who just raped you? But she had such a good time that evening that she tweeted during the party, quote, sitting outside, nearly freezing, with the world's coolest people, it's pretty amazing. To me, this doesn't exactly fit the profile of someone who's been sexually assaulted by guy number 1. While she tweeted that, Assange was flirting with woman number 2 on his cell phone. Well, eventually they meet again that Monday. Woman number 2 and Julian Assange. And Julian actually convinces her to buy him a train ticket because he needs to get out of the city, but he needs cash because he fears the government would track him. So she says, okay, but I've got to go to my apartment and get the cash, which is lucky because at her apartment they can have sex. And they have sex, consensual sex. And Assange wears a condom. The next morning, they have sex again. Where did I put that money? Oh, I don't have any pants on. This time, however, no condom. And there's the problem again. Woman number 2 is so upset by this rape that she decides to go to breakfast with the man who just raped her. You see? After breakfast, Assange heads out. She pays for his train ticket to leave. He's a romantic guy. Okay, if this account is true, then both parties apparently agree that the sex was consensual, which doesn't make much of a case here. Where's the crime? Well, Sweden is a little different. It is sex by surprise. Didn't have a condom. Well, there wasn't much of a crime there. That's why the case was closed in August. So the woman brought in a high-profile Swedish social democratic attorney. Wait a minute, social democrat, where have I heard that again? Oh yeah, that's right, that's what Putin, okay, that's right. He's a supporter of the campaign to extend the legal definition of rape. As a result of him being brought in September, the case was reopened by authorities. Now here's where things get sketchy. Regret begins to set in with woman number 2. Woman number 2 is the one who contacted the attorney. But woman number 2 also, she's regretting. And of all the people in the world, if you're going to tell somebody about a rape or something, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your best friend, no. She decides to call woman number 1. And woman number 1 and woman number 2, they realized when they started talking, he doesn't love me. He's a liar. He's a dirtbag. Few days pass. I mean, why act right away? After the revelation that he didn't love them, and that's when the two women took action. And the two women now, because two women claiming this is so much better than one, they went together to the police to report that they were seeking advice on how to proceed with an assault claim. Woman number 2 claimed that she was upset that Assange had refused to wear a condom when he asked. And, I don't know, woman number 1 said that, you know, raped him in between the party and the breakfast. I don't know. Does that sound right to you? I want you to know, I am not defending Assange. I think he is a dirtbag. I think he is a dirtbag. He obviously has no problem using his 15 minutes of fame to sleep with anyone who is crawling. But I have to tell you something. If you look at the people who are all lining up in defense of Julian Assange, and you see that these two are uber leftist as well, and you know the case that we have laid out over especially the last 6 months of bottom up, top down, and inside out, something's wrong. I want you to know the government is lying to you. I have made a living out of the last